So the big Ashes of Creation ban wave just happened, and it is very entertaining. A ton of guilds were impacted by this. Even guilds that aren't really known for doing anything nefarious had a few people that were taking advantage of certain exploits, certain unintended mechanics. This thing went pretty deep. And I'll be honest, part of the reason I didn't make this video immediately is because I was worried that maybe some people in my guild were doing some nefarious things. Not things that I knew about personally, but you have 100 people in your guild. Maybe you have a few people here and there that nobody really talks to that were doing some shady things. Well, as of the recording of this video, I can confidently say that nobody in DOPAMINE, as of my knowledge, has been banned. If that is not true, let me know who's missing, because for the most part, it seems like the gang's all here when it comes to DOPAMINE. Over the next few days, we're going to slowly learn who got banned, who didn't get banned, and who is suspiciously absent. Now, one thing we do know for sure is that a lot of people in Polar got banned because they had a full-blown meltdown crash out in the Discord of epic proportions. I'm not going to go through all the screenshots, but I am going to go through some of my favorites. My personal favorite being when the GM of Polar was talking about how they didn't do anything wrong and how this is bullshit, whatever. And Steven said, actually, I use voice changers and join guilds secretly. I'm in your guild. I know all about what you did. Which is crazy. That is a crazy practice, but I mean, it's kind of smart to, secretly infiltrate guilds. And to be fair, you did not really need to secretly infiltrate Polar to know that there was some shady things going on. Anybody that was on the virus server and saw the vortex, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And my second favorite has got to be Chad GPT Cobra. Oh boy. Obviously claiming innocence. He didn't do anything wrong. Well, someone found that he was selling gold on G2A under the same name, which is wild. So a lot of people in Polar got cooked, but most impressively and most importantly, a lot of the Mule accounts got hosed as well, which is very good for Intrepid to be getting practice on this and to have a few dry runs on how to deal with dupes and exploits, because it's better that this happens now in the alpha than when the game actually comes out. Nobody wants a new world situation. But what we saw when these bans were initially announced is that a lot of these Polar players were stripping their characters down naked, trading gold to alts, and trying to launder it through the trade post, and they were trying to somehow keep their ill-gotten gains for inevitably when they would have to start their characters over or buy a new account. And it seems like Intrepid was able to intercept a lot of this, which is pretty impressive. And it's good, that, again, that they get a dry run on this kind of stuff in the alpha rather than have a full-blown catastrophe like New World had. So far, it seems like all of these bans have to do with economic exploits like gold duping or people taking advantage of bugged rewards. There were some people like Walmart Lover that got banned for just being completely unhinged in chat, but it seems like most of these bans had to do with economic exploits, which are the worst exploits in MMORPGs. And luckily, it seems that most of the people that were doing this and being banned were just kind of like ego cheaters, people that just cheat for themselves personally. But I am curious to know the breakdown of like the personal cheaters versus the industrial cheaters. Now, it is annoying when a guild takes advantage of a bug or an exploit and they have an advantage on your guild in the game. Yeah, that's annoying, but that is infinitely better than commercial industrial RMT companies destroying the game, because for them it is completely transactional. It's not personal. They just want to extract all of the value they can out of the game, and they don't care if the game gets destroyed. So I'd be curious to know if Intrepid had to ban any of those types of accounts. Obviously, as the players, as competitive players, you notice people you're competing against when they get banned, but I'd be curious to know how many people in the underrealms of the game were banned. So it seems like thus far there's not a ton of RMT or anything like that in the game. While a lot of people, myself included, are very much enjoying this ban wave unfold, it's very fun to see justice dispensed. There is a community sentiment that there are a certain group of individuals that are above the rules. There's a lot of memes about the Phoenix Initiative whitelist and how if you're a PI member, you can just get away with anything. And I want to preface this statement by saying that in PvP style games like this, people weaponize the report system. People will do anything and everything against the guild they don't like, whether it's false reports, mass reports, twisting things. Using the report system as a weapon is absolutely a thing that happens. It's happened to me in guilds that I've been in where you get mass reported, and even though the bans get overturned, the damage usually is still done. So with that being said, there needs to be a serious burden of proof for that. And I think that, high profile people like guild leaders and whatnot do need to have a little bit of grace given to them because there is an incentive to sort of weaponize the report system against them. Do I believe that there is a Phoenix Initiative conspiracy theory where the high donor players can just brazenly cheat in front of everyone and not get punished for it? No, I don't believe that. But I get why people do, because quite honestly, a lot of the Envious members that are Phoenix Initiative players were exploiting in front of everyone. People have it on video, multiple points of view. Now you might be saying, oh, this selective editing was only for like a second or two. No, they talked about it on their own podcast, which is crazy. They talked about doing the exploit themselves, and they themselves called it an exploit.
Too, I saw even more recently. There's some stuff inside. It's called like knowing tech. Is kind of like how it's being referred to. Is knowing the tech behind like how to do these things, and it's not like you're exploiting. You're not like the exploit that we were doing. It's just mob elevation. Is taking advantage of elevation, which the mob AI can is taking advantage of elevation, and
which is insane. And these players haven't been punished. Now, some of you might say, well, maybe this is just not a punishable offense. Well, that's also not true because other people have been reset to level 1 and punished for this in the same place. Even other Envious members got caught doing this and were reset.
Steven just wiped him. Him and Dusk, whoever Dusk is, both got wiped to level 1. Ah, Dusk, you dumbass. Envious level 1. That's music to my ears. Let me put it in Say Chat.
But these players that are Phoenix Initiative players were suspiciously absent in that punishment. And I can understand why some players, especially just normal day-to-day players, see this and just think that is gross. And it's especially gross when you find out that these players are high-profile players, guild leaders. These people are mayors of the nodes. Not only that, the same podcast they talk about exploiting the leveling in, they interview Steven in. Like, it just feels gross. So I don't believe that there is a Phoenix Initiative conspiracy where these people can just get away with anything and not get banned. But I get why others might, because it just doesn't seem like, the optics are just not very good. And a lot of players on the virus server feel the same way. Because every time you have like a weird run-in with something, it's just, you're left with the feeling of it's always the ones you most expect. And myself personally, I've had a few weird run-ins with Envious. It is an alpha, weird things happen, but I have had this happen multiple times where I will kill a player in this specific guild and they come back to life immediately and start attacking me like Jesus Christ. So yeah, the situation is not perfect, but the fact that Intrepid is setting the tone and actually punishing players will deter future bad behavior. What you don't want to do is what World of Warcraft did, where you just let it happen and let the players get away with it, and there just becomes a culture of RMT and people just cheating and doing crazy shit. So I'm happy to see Intrepid is, swinging the ban hammer, because even if they don't get everybody, if you get enough people and you put the fear in their hearts, they won't behave badly when there is a risk of losing it all. So, yeah. At the end of the day, guys, this is alpha. Any sort of advantage that these people gained through their exploits or through their shortcuts or whatever they might have did, that advantage will slowly erode over time. Also, there's going to be more server wipes. This isn't the full release of the game. So, yeah, it might be annoying right now, but long-term, it's not going to matter. So, I personally still having a blast with the game. But before we end this video, I have 2 songs for you. I have both a country music song and a rap song that are perfect for this situation. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time.
In the heart of Era, where the sun sets low, Steven's banner swings, and it's quite a show. Players thought they'd cheat and never get caught, but Steven's got a list, and their names he saw. 19 got 6 months to think about their sins, 16 more suspended, now where to begin? 3 lifetime bans, ain't no coming back. Steven's got the power and he won't cut slack. Well, Steven's banner, heavy as it falls, straighten out the cheaters, answering the calls, warnings and deletions. Justice is precise. In ashes of creation, you gotta pay the price. 37 warnings, a final chance to mend, but some folks just won't listen, it's a bitter end. 173 characters wiped clean, learn your lesson, or you'll miss the scene. 83 accounts just up and gone, should've played it fair, now they sing a different song. Stephen's got the reins, keep very pure. If you play by the rules, you got nothing to endure. Oh, Stephen's banner, heavy as it falls, straighten out the cheaters, answering the calls, warnings and deletions. Justice is precise. In ashes of creation, you gotta pay the price. Umbrella kill. Oh, Stephen's banner, heavy as it falls, straighten out the cheaters, answering the calls, warnings and deletions. Justice is precise. In ashes of creation, you gotta pay the price. In ashes of creation, you gotta pay the price.
In the realm of error, sheets got caught, Steven swinging the hammer, no second thought. Alias and Pro tried to play slick. Dupers and exporters get out slick quick. She is dead by Steven, ain't no return. Lesson learned the hard way, bridges they burn. Dupes and bugs abused, they thought they'd win, now they watching from the shadows, can't get in. Full of lies, they thought they had the game, till the big man Steven put them all to shame. Abusers, exporters ain't got no clout. When Steven's on patrol, best you watch out. She is banned by Steven, ain't no return. Lesson learned the hard way, bridges they burn. Groups and bugs abused, they thought they'd win, now they watching from the shadows, can't get in. Servers clean now, no place for fraud. Honest grinding players give a silent nod. Steven laid the law down, swift and just. Cheaters in the dust now, ashes and rust. Cheaters banned by Steven, ain't no return. Lesson learned the hard way, bridges they burn. Groups and bugs abused, they thought they'd win, now they watching from the shadows, can't get in.